Could you tell our viewers what a suppressor is and very briefly how it functions?
Happy to, and you're exactly right, Bob. And thank you again. I'm going to start answering that question by telling you what silencers are not, right? So, as you mentioned, I've been advocating on behalf of suppressors for over a decade at this point. And while this perception is changing a little bit, I'd still say most of the American public, and even a lot of folks in the Second Amendment and shooting communities, when they think of suppressors, they tend to think of what they've seen in the movies, James Bond, for instance, and they imagine that this is a device that you can screw onto the end of your gun, and somebody in the office next door to you could be shooting off rounds out the window at some squirrels, and you would not know about it. It would be that quiet, like a almost, in the movies oftentimes they make it a clicking sound, when in fact that's just not how the physics of firearms work. What a suppressor actually is, and suppressor, silencer, people call them different things. What it actually is essentially a muffler for your gun. And when I say that, I mean that very seriously. They were invented by the same gentleman. Both the car muffler and the firearm suppressor were invented by the same gentleman back in 1909, a guy by the name of Percy Maxim. He just didn't like loud things, and he invented all kinds of similar contraptions to keep various types of machines a little bit quieter. And so, what does a suppressor or a muffler do? At the end of the day, you're just exerting physics on the explosion of a firearm round. So, the reason when you pull the trigger on a firearm that there's a loud noise is that what's happening when you pull the trigger is a primer explodes a bit of gunpowder, and the explosion of that gunpowder creates a whole lot of pressure and a lot of hot gases that propel a projectile out the front end of your firearm. And when those very hot gases leave that compressed chamber and enter the cold air, a lot of energy is released in the form of a sound wave. And what a suppressor does is it traps those gases and lets them cool in a compressed, contained environment a little bit before it hits that colder air. So we like to analogize it to letting the air out of a balloon. So if I have a full balloon and I pop it with a pin, it makes a loud noise because all of that energy is released very quickly. I can also let the air out of that balloon in a controlled manner and it'll be silent, right? The air will move in a slower pace, and it doesn't come with that sound wave. So again, that's what a suppressor does. And just like a muffler for your car doesn't make your car silent, it's just not going to, right? What is that silencing? What is that quieting down? That's quieting down, again, the explosions happening inside of your engine that are making that car move. It's the same exact principle here, where the suppressor is typically a series of baffles. So there's internal baffles, or pieces of metal that catch some of that gas as it's released, and again allow it to cool down inside of that suppressor. And as I said, just like in the car, you're not making it silent. With the firearm, you're also not making it silent.